thank you for joining me today. Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And you may remember in my last video I showed you the Dashing Along Designer Series paper that's currently on offer and free on top of all the usual hostess rewards with an order of £200 or more. And I said that I would be making some projects, and I wanted the first project to be showing that it doesn't necessarily have to be for Christmas. Okay, there's lots of designs there that, although it's Christmas colours, they don't necessarily have to be Christmas. Okay, so that's the other side. That one's the other side of that one. I've muddled them up. That one's the other side of that one, and that one's the other side of that one. Okay, so it's this paper I've used. As you can see, I have chopped a bit off that one, and I have made a little gift box here, and it holds 4 cards. So I've made these cards using our little narrow note cards. So I made these 4 cards, not Christmas. I thought these would be a really good idea for a craft fair. I'm going to be doing a craft fair. I stamped that one on the other side, but not that it matters. And I've done on the back of the envelopes, because the envelopes are curved at the top. So I stamped the sunflower there, daisy even, and did it on the corner of the envelopes there. So I did a selection, thought nice little craft fair present here, item here, which would make a lovely present as well. So we've got birthday wishes, thinking of you, thanks, and a hello. And these little cards are just gorgeous. We sell them, you get 20 in a packet, and they're £7.50, and they're in the annual catalogue. And they're just super cute. I like them. I have made gift card holders out of them, so if you are giving these, you can put a little gift card in there. And then I just made this little box to hold it, and that kind of matches the inside. Okay, so this is how I made them. So 4 of these, so you could get 5 sets of these out of 1 packet. So if you were doing it for a craft fair, that's quite economical really. I think I worked out they're about 37p per card. So I worked it out. We're talking about £1.60 maybe to do the cards, and then it'd be less than 40 bits, so less than £2 to make this, and you could easily double your money, I would say, on that. Maybe more. Okay, what would you pay for it? 4 cards in there, 4 handmade cards, so £4, £5 even maybe. Okay, and they don't take very long to make either. Where's my bone folder? Disappeared too now. So you just need to crease your cards, and it doesn't take much DSP. For the 4 cards I just used a 2-inch strip, 2 inches by 12 inches. So you could get 6 strips out of 1 sheet, so you'd have enough to make the whole packet up with 1 sheet of DSP. Okay, so I'm going to now do so I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip. I'm going to do, those were quite feminine. I'm going to give this one a bit of a masculine look. So I cut down 2 inches. And then I cut them all at 3 inches. So you've got, no I didn't, I did it at 4 inches. Cut them all at 4 inches, so you've got 3. I cut one of them in half, so I had 2 1-inch strips. I cut one of them at 1.5. So that was 1, that was 2, those 2 went together, and then this one I cut diagonally in half. Now the other one I didn't do it directly diagonally because of the pattern on it. If I show you the card, when I cut it on this, I followed the diagonal of the flower, so I would cut along there if I was doing this one, so so it didn't look odd. But this pattern, I'm just going to go straight on the diagonal. Try that again. I must need to clean this out because that didn't cut very well. Okay, so there, I've cut on the diagonal of that one. Okay, that's all we need that for. We do a little bit of matting in a sec. So if we do the diagonal one first, so all we need to do is take our diagonals and we're just going to stick it on. I have done this the opposite way round to that one, but it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to do that, and then we'll just have a little sentiment in the middle. For the 1-inch strip, so we'll do that one, we are going to mat it with some cardstock. The same with the 1.5-inch strip, mat that with some cardstock, and then this one is got a 1-inch and a 1.5-inch, like so. So that's how I got me 4 cards. You could in fact just use one diagonal, and then that could do another card. If you wanted to, you could make those 2 the same and have these other elements for something else. Okay, so that's the basic setup of the cards. So I'm going to do this diagonal one first. So I'm going to get some Tombow. And very quickly, so leaving about a 1/8 of an inch border. I'm going for this big happy birthday there. I thought that that's quite a nice, big, chunky, masculine happy birthday sentiment. So I'm going to mount that one. With some Whisper Whites. And I'm going to stamp that in some garden green. I don't have garden green ink pad, but I do have our Stamping Right markers, and they are a really good way if you want to build up your ink colours, is to get Stamping Right markers, because you can do exactly what I'm doing now, is put them on your stamps, and they are made of exactly the same stuff as the ink pads, which also means that they are refillable with our re-inkers as well. So once you've made that investment in the ink packs, in the pens, you could have them for life as long as you have the re-inkers. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a huff to make sure it hasn't dried up on me, and I'm just going to stamp it down. And there we have it. And I'm going to chop that down. Where's my trimmer gone? Yep. So I'm just going to chop that at about an inch. I'm going to go a little bit over the inch so that I can trim it down. The cards are 4.5 inches, so I'm going to cut that at 4. And then put that over there at the inch. Right, I'm going to get some washi tape to hold that in place. When you're doing a little bit like this, washi tape to hold that in place. Hold it there in the 1 inch. And we'll go over it again. There we go. Leave that there. That's why there's a bit of washi tape actually on the bottom of the trimmer, which I completely forgot about. And I'm going to get my triple banner punch. So it's slightly smaller than an inch now. It is about 7/8 of an inch. So I want to do this. I want to banner it. So I've got to put it in there and judge when is it the right bit. So then we've got our little happy birthday banner, and so I'm going to put a bit of red round the outside so that it's matches the stripe. So that's not quite straight, so I'm going to straighten that up. And then I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. So that gives it a nice border. Cut that at 4. And that could go horizontal, diagonal even. But actually now I'm going to put it horizontal, like that. Now I could banner the ends, or I could leave it like that. I actually quite like it like that, so I'm actually going to leave it like that. So I'm just going to get a bit of Tombow. And then I'll get some dimensionals to pop that up. Brand new pack, always find it difficult to get them out at first. One in the middle, take these off. And then we have cute little card number 1. So we have a feminine version and we have a masculine version. So now I'm going to do this one. So that is the 1 inch strip and the 1/2 inch strip. This one obviously has got the daisy on it. I'm not going to put a daisy on it. Before I stick that one on, I'm going to make a decision as to what I'm going to put on. Okay, for the sentiment, I'm going to use the Labels of Love, and I'm going to use this background, and I'm going to do the With Faith All Things Are Possible out of Ribbon of Courage. And so I'm going to do the outline in Garden Green, and I'm going to do the sentiment in Cherry Cobbler. I'm going to do this bit first, and to make sure that I get the sentiment on the inside I'm going to use my Stamparatus. I've done a little bit of trial and error to get it in the right place by using some scrap card, and I'll show you what I've done to get it lined up. So I did fiddle faddle with doing this stamp on the Stamparatus, but actually it was really hard to get it lined up. It would have probably used quite a lot of scrap card, and then it dawned on me, this way is probably easier. So I'm just going to stamp that down like so, and then I'm going to punch it out to get it how I want it. There we go. And then I take my stamperator I have already lined up, and what I've got a piece of cardstock where I've cut the label out, and as you can see I also used a scrap bit of label which is here on the floor because I missed the bin, and I just tried it a few times until I got it straight where I wanted it. So that just fits in to the stamped out hole. Just use the magnet there on the corner, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment in cherry cobbler. When I don't waste a single bit of my cardstock. 4 1/8 that way. That's that nicely matted. So I just like to rub the edges so it's a bit smoother. There we have it, and then it's just a matter of deciding the sentiments for these. So I've decided on this one that I'm going to make this a thank you card, and I'm using the thank you from Daisy Delight because that will fit beautifully in there. So then it's just a decision to make whether or not I make it red or green, and I decided to go with the green because I've used that so far for all the stamping. So just going to rub this over as I've done before. Can of course use stamperators, and then you can go over it more than once if it doesn't quite work, but that's okay. Quite like that. Simple, to the point. I really like that look. So I'm going to go for Thinking of You from Colourful Seasons, and instead of mounting this up I'm going to keep this pretty simple as well by doing it in the same way. But this time I think I might, should I do it? No, I'm going to stick with garden green. And I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. So 2 different looks using the same sort of design. So 2 by 12 inches DSP, some stamps and some cardstock, and there you go. So hope you liked them. All the details will be on my blog, nigezza.co.uk, and next time I shall bring you how I made the box. Okay, see you for now.